Hello, Teresa back again. It's a lovely Saturday afternoon. It's very sunny out there, but it's quite windy as well. We've had a lot of rain this morning, but it's left everything fresh and green. It's quite beautiful. I hope the weather's good to you wherever you are. This afternoon, I'd like to try and make this a quick video. My daughter's on her way over. She's just been to look around the house that my partner and I have just bought. She's given it a once over, so I can't wait to see what she has to say about it. She'll be deadly honest and to the point, I'm afraid. But anyway, until she arrives, this is what we're going to do next. And this is still slow stitch, as all the tasks are, the projects, and it's strips of fabric in rows, secured to the calico. The calico's here, and I've put this here to cover up that page that we used earlier on in the last video, so it doesn't confuse the camera with a lot of movement and colours and everything. So that is why that's covered up. Anyway, so yes, these have been secured to the calico with running stitch. All the stitches that we have now used, there's running stitch, feather stitch, couching. These threads here are wool. I think that's eyelash wool there. It's been couched down, and that's to give a nice texture. The buttons have been secured on little scraps of fabric as well. There's lace, but I don't think there is anything new here that we need to spend any amount of time thinking about or worrying about. The idea this afternoon is not to overthink. This is one of the aims this afternoon. Slow stitch, but we're not going to overthink. I've cut the fabric already, and I'm just going to pick them up as they are on the right of me over here. So I'm going to put that away. One last look. I'll just blow that up again. And of course this is, as you know, bigger than the pages that we're doing. It's quite heavy as well. So you just want a last look at that to see the lace. The lace has been put down over the fabric strip, and it's been secured after. I can see this one has, the lace has been put down after the pink fabric strip and not at the same time. That one's been put down at the same time. That one's been put down after. Tiny little bit of applique there on a strip. Anyway, we'll crack on and see how far we get before my daughter comes in. So I'm going to close that up and move that again. It is so damn heavy. Stick that there. Put that over there. And here we go. Right, I'm going to move the camera because you don't want my dress in the way, do you? That's better. A little bit of microphone there. Now that little bit of wire will drive me insane. That's better. Right, so the usual size, and I think without measuring it, is 6 by 8. 6 by 8 as usual. These are the strips that I've already got ready. Just spent some time ripping those, or most of them were rips anyway. Pins here, dressmakers pins, and something really nice and easy to do now. A nice afternoon task. So I'm just going to take one without looking, and it happens to be that one. So this one will go down here. Now it's entirely up to you if you tack, or I'll turn it around that way. It's entirely up to you if you prefer to tack or just pin. Now I don't mind pinning, so I'm going to pin, and today it's easier for me to pin it this way down. There we go. I have the needles already threaded. I think I might just put another pin here to secure it, and then as usual a running stitch. We'll put the running stitch down this side. Now I'm not too worried about the edges at the moment, so I'm not going to put the running stitch down there. I just want to secure it here first. So small running stitch. Now you can actually do any of the stitches that we have used so far. You can do the couching at the moment if you wanted to. You could lie a thread along the edge here, and you could couch over the two together, this edge and the edge of whatever you're couching. So we're going to just run it down here. So you could do a little chain stitch. I prefer this stitch. Now some people actually, some students I've had, have actually put their background strips on before they've sewn, and that is so they can secure two edges at the same time. So that works as well. I'll probably do some like that as well. So there you go. How long did that take? 30 seconds. So just tie that off at the end, sorry, at the back, and that's that one done. So there you go. Yes, as I was explaining, some students actually will tack them all down at the same time, and I have done it this way, and that way you get you can sew over both of them together, which is ideal if you're planning on using blanket stitch or a herringbone stitch. So as I progress further in, I will do the same, but just for the time being I'm going to concentrate on the tacking stitch. So if I put that one there, now what I like about this is that you get two tacking rows together. Sorry, not tacking, what am I talking about? Running stitches together. So I'm now going to do this side, and I'm going to do the same stitch here. So this will, oh, I haven't used the pins. Right, you might find you don't even need the pins. Just line it up with this edge. Take it right down there. Now once you have all your strips in place, then you can go back and start filling in the rest of the fabric with your chosen stitch, or you might want to do as I did in the sample that I showed you, just running stitch, a few herringbone stitches, a little bit of feather stitch. You do what you feel happy doing, and what you feel is aesthetically pleasing to you. And there is no wrong or right about this. That is one of the nice things. Well, actually, you know, having said that, there shouldn't be any right and wrong about your artwork anyway. Obviously, we need the right techniques, the right tools, but when it comes to how you see, how you perceive your artwork, or how you interpret your inspiration, then that's up to you, and nobody can tell you you're wrong. There you go. Could be radical thinking in some parts, some places. I've learned to my cost, but we're not in those places. We're in my place and your place. So that's that one down. So already it's growing. Now the next one, no, I'm going to put that back because it's too light. Now I'm overthinking. I did say I wouldn't overthink, didn't I? But just pretend I haven't seen that bit. So I'm going to put this bit now, but I want to vary the lengths. I don't want them all the same length, so I'm going to cut that there. Take some thread. I think I might use green on this. This time I am going to place the edge over the top of the red. Okay, and I will hold this in place because now we're going to do a feather stitch. So remember the feather stitch. I've got company coming later, so I have actually tidied my table up. There we go, that's the feather stitch. Okay, so that is the stitch we're now going to do on the edge. If I can pick the needle up. Right, so, and we're going to go from one side. If I try and lift that up, to the other side, and then down in the center, but catching one of the sides of fabric. And there you go, your first stitch. Feather stitch out at the side here and down. I'm sure now you don't need me to do it step by step. You're probably sick of hearing my voice explain it. Now you make the stitch the length you want, the size you want to suit your fabric and your style. You don't have to do it like I'm doing it. So it's taking shape already. Can you see this? And this side. Thing is with pins, you have to be careful that the thread doesn't keep getting knotted up on the ends. I pulled that a little bit too tight, but hey ho, that doesn't matter. In there, and that one's sort of not in the left or the right side. I think I must have been drinking when I did that. Oh, that's better. Back on track. See, any little, what some people could call mistakes, can be covered up with a bead or a piece of lace. Never ever worry at what you think's a mistake in your textile art, because you can use it to your advantage. I think it's called serendipity, a happy mistake. So although it is a mistake, you can turn it around and make something quite lovely out of it. So as you can see, this stitch takes a little bit longer to do than the running stitch. The running stitch is so easy and quick that it sometimes spoils me a little bit for other stitches. Right. And don't forget, when you are using your fabric, you can actually use the side that you prefer. If you think the back of the fabric looks nicer than the front, then use it. For a second I thought this was the wrong side, and that's why I just had a look, but it isn't. It is actually the right side, but I have used the wrong side before now, and it's quite nice. It gives a different effect completely, especially if you use both wrong and right sides, because then you get a paler version of the right side. Now I can see here this isn't straight, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter a bit. Don't put any pressure on yourself to do things what you think is perfect, because let's face it, it doesn't matter what you do, who you are, what you say, and you could be perfect in every single way, but there will be someone who will criticize. So at the end of the day, you do what is right for you, and if it feels good for you, then it's jolly well good. Now that's the second one. So already we've got 3 strips down. This one obviously will be shorter, so I'm going to need to cut. Oh, see, I'm thinking. I said I wouldn't think. No, that's too thin anyway, too thin. I thought I'd cut more actually. And I deliberately just heaped them up so I wouldn't start thinking about the colours. This isn't an exercise in colour. It's an exercise in not overthinking and creating a fabric from lots and lots of little strips. See, this is what people who don't create don't understand. When you say, oh no, don't throw that tiny little half-inch scrap that's frayed and should have been put out to rest years ago, don't throw that, I need it. This is why you save them and why you need them. Now I'm back to running stitch here, and I'm going over the red. I'm catching the red as well. See, with running stitch you can, if your needle's long enough, you can just bunch it all up together like this. I've got all that on one needle. Pull it, and hey presto, look at that, secured down. And I missed a bit, so just a tiny bit more there, in through the back and secure it off, and that is that. So I'm going to carry on doing this. I won't expect you to sit and watch while I do this. You'd probably fall asleep anyway. Some of the raggy bits I will cut off because those don't do anything, they don't go anywhere, they're just annoying me now. Now I will also give this a press. I'll give that a press on the back to flatten it down. Now I have some pieces here, and what I will do off camera, I will start to embellish some of these strips. The other strips are like here. I just put these down so you can get a rough idea. Oops, sorry about that. You'll get a rough idea. Oh, I like that one. Oh look, the microphone's there. Excuse me, I'm just going to push the microphone. That's it. Right, so this is a rough idea of what happen, and then I will go back and I will place some lace to blend it all. At the moment, see, I'm overthinking again. At the moment it's a hodgepodge of colours and patterns, and to calm it down a little bit we need some plain. This is plain, so that's good. We need a little bit of plainness somewhere else. And I might also put a few areas of lace, chop the lace up to what I want. Maybe a little bit of eyelash lace. I love eyelash lace. So I will embellish those. And then I will go through the wall or thin ribbon. And I will do some couching down of something to give it a little bit of texture, like wool or string, or even something as thin as this, twisted, so you get that lovely texture. At the moment there's no, what I would say, no texture. It's a little bit because we have this raised, so it will need some texture. It's going to need some lace, some texture, some couching, and of course some buttons. So there we are. I'm now going to carry on, and I'll see you shortly. Have a good afternoon. I think that was well timed actually, because I believe my daughter's out there with her friend. So take care now, and I'll see you shortly. I'm back. How quick was that? And I've almost finished this piece to go on the page here, but before I do that I want to prepare the page underneath to put this on top. So the first thing I'm going to do, where is the smaller piece, is glue this along the bottom. Otherwise there might be too much pink showing, and I don't want that on this page because this piece is pink enough. So by adding this on the bottom, it's just going to tone the colours down slightly. So what we'll do first is, if I can find my scissors, I'm going to cut this along there. And by the way, this is now the centre page, so we're almost halfway through this piece. I'm going to stick this down with some glue stick, Yoo-hoo, Pritt stick, or whatever you have will do. And all these pieces here, it's actually a photocopy. I did it on my printer, a photocopy of a lace doily I have, and it's really nice because it's actually come out brown and grey, and I just love that effect. Now I will trim that off later, this piece here, when it's actually stuck down, when it's dry. Meanwhile, along here I'm going to add another piece of lace, and that's going to go down there just like the page here. Same lace, same effect. So I'm going to put that down, and the way to do this, I'm going to use double-sided sellotape for this, and I'm going to, and this is the thick tape, the 1-inch tape. If you only have the 1/2 inch, that's fine, that's no problem at all. This, I ordered the thick one by mistake. I actually thought it was 1/2 inch, but no, it arrived. But I'm not disappointed because it is so thick. But the problem I have is actually peeling it off. Now, this could take me ages, so I will do this. If it takes too long, I should chop this piece out of the final video. Ah, oh my goodness, must be the quickest I've done that. Right, now this is going to go down, and to make it even here, I'm going to run the pattern, that pattern there. I'm going to sit all those little scallop shapes at the edge of the page. So very, very carefully line that up. Right, they're all lined up now, they're all sitting on the edge of the page. Carefully pop that down, and there we go. So that's smashing, lovely. Once again, I will trim the surplus bits at the end later on. Meanwhile, it doesn't look much at the moment, but I'm pleased with how easy that went down. So let's just put that out of the way. We'll give the glue time to stick, and we go back here. Now, as you can see, or not, let's make that a bit bigger. That's it. Right, as you can see, I have in fact finished. And I've added pieces of lace there, here. I've also added applique, little strips of ordinary fabric there. And oh my goodness, the other one's hidden. Oh, there. It's hidden so well I can't see it. And then I've couched down lace, couched down with herringbone there, a small piece of chain stitch, lace here. What else? Feather stitch. So basically all this is running stitch, feather stitch, chain stitch, and have I missed one? Herringbone stitch. And there are a few crosses scattered around, which at the moment seem to be blending right into the background. The buttons I've sewn onto pieces of lace and netting. Now I deliberately left a button and a piece of wool to couch down on the camera. Had I done all this on the camera, we would have taken about 7 hours. So I've just saved these instead, because I'm sure no one has 7 hours just to sit and watch this. So the first thing I'm going to do is couch down this piece of wool, in case, and this is just in case you're wondering how the wool is couched down. And it's couched down exactly the same way as we couched one of our previous pieces. So in from the back, across the wool, and bring it out slightly down underneath the stitch where it went in, if that made sense. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Right, so come on camera, focus. In, down and out. Not round the button, please. Oh, there you go. Oh, that is not working too well, is it? So I'm sure you know now how to do this. Let's have a look at, did we do the couching sample? Yes, we did. So this is the sample that you're looking for. This is how we did it, because it isn't showing up too well on the screen. So across, down, across, down. Now don't worry about your stitches, because part of the charm of this, of slow stitch, is not to worry about the stitches. It adds to the texture, and it just makes it more aesthetically pleasing to have a variety of stitches. And if you remember in the introduction, oh, it seems like a long time ago now, part of good design, or one of the design principles, is contrast. So you can always use that in anything that isn't straight, small, neat. You can always tell yourself, tell others, that is contrast. You're contrasting the wonky stitch against the straight stitches, the long stitches against the short ones, the fat against the thin, and it all adds for interest. It's like looking at, say, a broken fence. So you have, say, 30 feet of straight upright fence, all uniform, nothing wrong, and then there's a broken piece in it, and it's that broken piece that often adds the interest, often well, it will definitely draw the eye. And I am of course talking about a broken fence in the middle of a country lane. I'm not talking about your expensive back garden fence that cost an arm and a leg to have a team of gardeners put up. That might not be so aesthetically pleasing. Damn expensive too. So anyway, that has now been couched down. You see that? Now the buttons have been sewn down already, and all I did with the buttons, I took a piece of netting, a tulle, and a little bit of lace, and place them together. Doesn't matter which way you have them round, it's up to you. If you want to get a grey effect, and a grey and white effect, then put the black on top. If you don't, just put the white on top. This time I'm going to put the black on top, but I'm not lining them up. I'm not going to line them up. If you can see that, the black is off the square, and that gives a nice effect, and it creates more colours once it's placed on the fabric. So I'm going to put that, I don't want to cover that up too much. I'm going to put that there. Now the buttons, as you can see by looking at this, I've used 2 buttons, one on top of the other, a dark green on a light green, spots on a red background, and that actually complements the spots on the fabric here. And I've used a peach coloured smaller wooden button on a peach coloured larger button. This one is going to be blue. Now the blue will reflect the blue on there, the blue stitches, and there's a little bit of blue here, and that will join it all together. That will make it into a composition. I hope. If not, I'm lying. Now to do this easily, the first one I did, I sewed the large button on first, and it was difficult. Well, no, that wasn't the difficult bit. The difficult bit was lining up the small button on top. So I'm going to do it this way first. I'm going to sew the small button, or just loosely tack it. The small button, see, even this way it's very fiddly. Now, I'm going to put the buttons together first, hold those in place. Now those holes are aligned, this is going to be a bit easier to sew down. Oh look, the knots come through. I should just chop that off because this is truly locked now. Truly locked, that's it. And if that sticks out later, then I'll just put a bead over it. And then we can sew this in place. We're going to do a cross stitch from one. Oh, see, it isn't even that easy once they're, even though they're sewn together. That's the first half done. Then that there. That's it. Now, is that strong enough? Yes, I think it is. So I'm going to sew that off at the bottom. Obviously, if you were sewing these onto a garment to be opened, used as buttons and a buttonhole, you'd sew them on differently, but we don't. I have to keep reminding myself and other people who have probably studied dressmaking as a discipline that we don't do textile art as a discipline. It's an art. It is an art, and we stick to the discipline of art. It's very confusing because, as I mentioned some time ago, I had to do years dressmaking as part of my art course, my history of art course. So there were two lots of principles going on there, or design elements, or techniques. We had the very disciplined one of dressmaking and the more liberal one of art. Although art does have its own discipline, and sometimes it was just a little bit conflicting. Right, now let's decide which way. Lovely, that's all dry. Which way we want this up. Now the blue button there. Now the feather stitches are going up there, but I don't pay any attention to that. I actually like my feather stitches upside down. I don't know, there's just something lovely. It reminds me of ivy cascading over a wall. Or do we want the blue button there? I don't know. I think it looks better there. Yes, so I'm going to put it there. Now I'm going to take this to the top of the page this time, just so we can have a little peek here. Just see the lace photocopy shining through. Shining through. It's not shining, is it? It's smiling through. Now I'm going to turn it around this way. It's easier for me this way. And once again, I'm going to use the double-sided sellotape. So down here, this side, and oh, come on, let's undo this. This is just so awkward. How anybody without nails, fingernails, manages to do this, I really don't know. I might just have to try and rip that a little bit. There must really be an easier way to do this. No, I'm pulling it away from the page. Oh, This is horrendous. This could take, if I can't do it within the next 10 seconds, I'll turn the camera off, I think. Right. It's making a good job of taking my nail varnish off. Okay, I'm really going to give up with the nail varnish. I really will once I lose this stuff. Could of course be like these glasses that I keep whinging about. Oh heaven, if any of you know a better way. This is marvellous stuff, it really is marvellous, but there we go. Woo. So what I'm going to do, because this needs stretching just a little bit, because the stitches tighten it up, I'm going to stick it down in pieces, in stages. So the first bit I'm going to lie edge to edge, and I wanted it right at the top of the page there, edge to it, and I don't stick it down yet, so do it just, and then stretch it down and stretch it out. Lovely, that's the first bit. Now we want one in the middle, so bear with me again. One in the middle. Oh, that was easy. And then I'm going to stretch this over again. Lovely. Just hold it there, stretch it, pull it out from the middle and then down. There, that's lovely. And then the last one, I'm going to turn it round here and do the last one. Let's see where it finishes. Right, the last one basically on top of where I put it for the lace. So that will now go along there. You know, I think the secret of finding the end is to, as you tear the sellotape, give it a raggy end, and then you have a few places where the tape is actually exposed, I say, and not being able to. Oh, I have. Oh dear. Right, now make sure this is straight, so we're going to pull it out. We'll start at the center with that one, hold it there, pull it up and out, and then the same here, pull it down this time and out, and there you go. So that is all in. That's in. So I'm going to leave these bits along there. I'm not trimming those off yet. I'm not trimming the top bit off yet, if at all, and I'm not trimming this, and I won't do that until we go back to the beginning to tidy up the pages and to dress these pages, which is every other page. All I'm worried about or concentrating on at the moment is finishing off the examples, the little samples that we've done. And let me see, yeah, we are getting there. And I did actually, without thinking, put the blue button up there so that the herringbone is going down. Oh my goodness. Right, okay then. So that is another page finished. That's page 4 finished. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, page 4. So the next page is coming up very shortly, and that will be for page 5, and that will be over here. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it made sense. So enjoy the rest of your day or evening. It's actually evening here now. It's 20 to 8 on a Sunday evening. I did that over 2 days because I had company last night, and it was really good company. But oh, my head this morning. So anyway, I hope you're okay. I hope you're all well, and I shall see you very soon. So take care now. Bye bye.